Mom thinks she's having twins. Having children is considered to be a blessing for many couples, but many times most are left to make tough decisions as to whether indeed they're ready to cater to them. Motherhood can be a beautiful experience that changes a woman's life, but many love comparing themselves with what they see on the internet. Many young mothers seem to portray a version too romanticized and perfect to truly represent what it is to be a mother. With that in mind, sometimes they end up embarking on the motherhood journey without taking the time to really find out what this entails. Everyone wants a fairy tale life, but the truth is that real life is far from it. Raising a lot of kids must be hard because you need to be patient and loving. The stories of these three mothers will prove to you that miracles are indeed possible. Number 3. Carrie Kaczynski. There's a lot of misconceptions about twins that we read in magazines, but one thing is for sure, they're special. Furthermore, there's myths about how a woman can get pregnant with twins. But according to statistics, 32 in every 1,000 people has a twin. In addition, 20% of women who got pregnant at the age of 45 might have twins. But for women under the age of 24, it drops down to 2%. Those are just some interesting facts. Having your own children will give you the feeling of fulfillment that you cannot find from material things. But what if you have 3 sets of twins? How would you react to that? Sounds hard, right? But Carrie and Craig Kaczynski are no ordinary couple. They have 3 sets of twins with the same birthday. That is, they were all born in the same month and day, but in different years. This sounds crazy, but at least the parents won't forget the birthdays of their children. And they'll be able to save a lot on birthday parties since they'll just hold one giant one for their kids every year. See? There is a bright side to everything. Carrie and Craig Kaczynski were still just newlyweds planning for a family of their own when Carrie got a call from an old friend from Michigan who was pregnant with twins and unsure if she could take care of the babies. The friend asked Carrie if she and her husband would adopt them. Deciding to give it the old college try, the couple agreed to take custody of the children on a trial basis. And on February 28, 2014, they picked up Adeline and Kenna from a hospital in Ohio. The young family had been taking care of Adeline and Kenna for about a year and had decided to adopt them when the children's biological mother reached out again looking for help. She'd hit a rough spot and was wondering if Carrie and Craig could take care of her 2 older children, a twin boy and a girl who were then 2 years old. The couple agreed. It wasn't long before the children's birth mother implored them to keep all 4 kids. The decision to adopt them all wasn't easy, admits Carrie, but they made the decision soon after welcoming young Cece and JJ, whom they had previously cared for while their birth mother was pregnant, back into their home. It was a difficult decision. We were trying to get pregnant ourselves, but they were siblings, so that was definitely part of our consideration. We wanted to keep the siblings together, Carrie said. But even with a house filled with noises, love, and trappings of 4 toddlers, Carrie and Craig were still pinning for a child of their own. Carrie had been diagnosed with endometriosis and had other issues that complicate ovulation, but thanks to IVF treatments, the couple learned that they were expecting twins of their own. Only this time, they were expected. One day, sitting on the couch folding clothes, the 5 months pregnant Carrie felt what she thought might be contractions and called her doctor. By the time she went in for her appointment, she was fully dilated. 6 weeks of hospital bed rest later, she underwent emergency C-section surgery, giving birth to Caroline and Clarissa on a very special date. Just 25 weeks old, the infants weighed in at only 1 pound 6 ounces each, and were sent directly to the neonatal intensive care unit. They underwent surgeries and suffered through viral infections, but made it through. Little did they know that 2 years later, they would be the proud parents of not 2, but 3 sets of twins, their 4 adopted toddlers, and 2 premature babies of their very own. The fact that all 6 children share a birthday, Cece and JJ were born on February 28, 2013, Adeline and Kenna on February 28, 2014, and Caroline and Clarissa on February 28, 2016 makes the couple feel like God has a plan for their family. The story is a complicated one and emotional. But today, the couple say they truly believe fate stepped in to bless them with all 6 members. The Kaczynskis want to tell their story in the hopes of opening up other people's minds about adoption, We believe that because God adopted us into His family, that we were meant to adopt these children into our family, Carrie said. It's such a huge blessing to us. We love all our children the same. We wouldn't want our lives to be any different. Number 2. ALEXANDRA KINOVA. When 23-year-old ALEXANDRA KINOVA from Motherhood, Czech Republic found out she and her boyfriend Antonin were expecting a baby, they were thrilled to be adding another baby to their family. They already had a son. It was always their dream to give their son a brother or a sister. ALEXANDRA's first pregnancy was relatively normal since she gave birth naturally, and there were no complications. Because the first pregnancy went so well, ALEXANDRA and Antonin were sure that this pregnancy would be uneventful as well. Boy, were they wrong. At first, doctors said she was having twins. The parents-to-be couldn't believe their luck. How cool was it that they'd carry on the tradition of bringing twins into the world? Fast forward a few months later, and doctors gave them the shocking news. They weren't having twins. They weren't having triplets either. ALEXANDRA was carrying quadruplets. When ALEXANDRA found out that she was having twice as many babies as she initially thought, she and her boyfriend had to start preparing for the extra additions to the family. They were both excited and worried. ALEXANDRA says that she was glad she didn't have to worry about any more surprises. Again, she was wrong. Because ALEXANDRA was carrying 4 babies, her pregnancy was now considered to be especially high risk. When her stomach stopped growing, her doctor wanted to make sure that everything was all right, so they ordered another ultrasound. ALEXANDRA was excited for the ultrasound because so far, her doctor was unable to determine the sex of her babies due to their position. When she had the ultrasound, she got more than she bargained for. The doctor began the ultrasound as usual, and again, ALEXANDRA saw the shocked look on her face. She worried that something was wrong with one of her babies. Fortunately, this wasn't the case. The doctor told her that she wasn't carrying 4 babies. She was carrying 5. Her doctor told her that the chances of a woman carrying quintuplets were 1 in several million. She and Antonin were shocked. The sexes of the children would be revealed at birth. 2 of the little ones remained hidden from the ultrasound. As in situations like these, the couple took the news in stride. Finally, the big day came for ALEXANDRA to deliver her 5 babies. The idea of going from being parents with 1 child to 6 was overwhelming for the couple, but they were excited to meet their new brood. When it was time for the babies to be born, 40 professionals, including doctors and midwives, were scheduled to be present. Can you just imagine the organized chaos in that delivery room? I wonder if the babies were handled like items on the assembly line. The 5 children were brought into the world without any complications. The 2 are proud parents of 4 boys, Daniel, Michael, Alex, and Martin, and they had 1 baby girl named Teresa. When they first found out that ALEXANDRA was pregnant, they were praying for a little girl since they already had a son at home. They were thrilled to have their little girl as well as their 4 baby boys. They never expected to be bringing home 5 new babies, but they both agree that it's a blessing. ALEXANDRA says that it will be a lot of work, but with Antonin and their family's help, they will manage. ALEXANDRA's pregnancy broke a lot of records. This was a historic milestone for the Czech Republic. Their children were the first quintuplets ever recorded in the Czech Republic. Her doctor said, "In our country, birth statistics have been recorded since 1949, and there's no mention of quintuplets. In the Czech Republic, quintuplets are born on average once every 480 years. Before we move on, I've got a little challenge for you that'll take 5 seconds to complete. So here's the deal. You just leave a like on this video, smash that subscribe button, and hit the notification bell, and you will get 25 years of amazing luck. Try it, it really works. Number 1. Lauren Perkins. Lauren Perkins has always dreamed of becoming a mom. After spending a difficult year trying and failing to fall pregnant, the idea of fertility treatment didn't seem so scary anymore. She and her husband David decided to take a vacation to Nicaragua to consider their next step. The couple, along with some friends, did exactly that. Whilst there, Lauren talked openly about their struggles to conceive. One of their friends, a priest, replied calmly, "Someone up there has big plans for you. I don't know what, but it will be big." At the time, it sounded strange. Lauren would soon realize the words really carried some weight. After the trip, Lauren returned home to Texas. She didn't think much about what the priest had said during the vacation. On the contrary, she and David had decided on one thing. They wanted to try out artificial insemination, the simplest method of assisted fertilization. Lauren was convinced that it wouldn't work, that she was destined to be barren, but it did. Lauren finally fell pregnant. In the first routine check, Lauren was told by nurses that her HCG levels were very high. That meant there was a strong possibility that there was more than one child growing inside of her. Lauren and her husband were delighted at the idea that they might have twins or even triplets. They had struggled for so long to have a child that the idea of having more than one was too good to be true. Then the ultrasound came. A staggered doctor studied the screen for a few seconds and then delivered the shocking news. The doctor quietly told her, "I count 5 in there." Lauren thought this was impossible. The doctor turned back to the screen and then continued, "Wait a minute, I just found a 6th baby." The confused couple stared at the screen in complete shock. 6? Lauren and David were then faced with a difficult decision. Either they could reduce the number of children or keep them all. The chances that all 6 babies would survive the pregnancy were low. To have 6 at the same time brings on a number of dangerous complications. After much deliberation, Lauren and David finally decided to give all 6 a fighting chance. Their doctors promised to do everything they could to ensure every baby was delivered safely. The hospital went through a mighty effort to avoid complications associated with the birth. Monday morning, April 23, 2012, the day arrived. Lauren was in week 30 of her pregnancy. Children born before the 37th week are considered premature. A total of 35 people from the hospital gathered inside the delivery room. As the birth got underway, the doctor needed the help of 6 nurses standing by to receive each baby as they came into the world. No easy task, and certainly one rife with stress. I was nervous and excited all at once. It was starting to sink in that this was for real. I was going to have 6 babies, Lauren said. It took a total of 4 minutes to deliver all 6. Andrew, Benjamin, Caroline, Leah, Allison, and Levi all weighed between 1 and 2 pounds at birth. Lauren said, "I didn't expect to see my babies until the next day, but each baby's team rolled them by me one by one on their way up to the NICU, and I got to touch their little fingers." The children were not healthy enough to be with their parents for the first few days. At 4 days old, Allison was the first baby in a stable enough condition to be held. It took the nurse 10 minutes to get all the wires and monitors up so Lauren could hold her, but what a feeling! In that moment, when I got to hold my baby, was when I became a mother of sextuplets, Lauren explained. The first few weeks were crucial in the lives of the babies. Their parents still worried about complications that could potentially lead to disability, or in the worst case, death. Fortunately, all 6 recovered, slowly but surely. The families had an abundance of support from loved ones, which has helped them immeasurably when it comes to getting through the hardest and most difficult periods. Donations from others have also come in, both from family and complete strangers touched by the birth and Lauren's story. Lauren, of course, has high praise indeed for all the medical staff involved. Without them, the children may have never been strong enough to go home. The family has adapted to a newer, more full-on way of life. But with that being said, we've come to the end of this video. Want more videos that'll exist until the very end of time? Click on any of the amazing videos that you see on the screen. And as always, thanks for watching.